Okay. Homeboy can rap. Hey, everybody. What's up? It's your girl, Rosalie. Welcome to the Ultimate YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, subscribe. And let's dive in. I got another one from you. Special request from my patron, John. Shout out and thanks for your patience. I was encouraged and asked to check out a song called Hello, Loneliness. And it's by an artist named Ekoh, I hope I'm saying his name right, and Low Spirit. It's the official video, already has almost 500,000 views, was put out 7 months ago. I have been meaning to look into this artist, so now is the time. Without further ado, let's talk about it. Let's listen to it. And keep in mind, we're all about music and psychology. So what you'll find here is that we dive deep into the musical composition, the lyrics. We look for education and encouragement. So I hope you dig. And yeah, subscribe. All right, here we go.
Goodbye, happiness. Yeah. Hello, loneliness. I feel you coming back to take a hold again. My oldest friend, I wish you didn't come around so often to steal my happiness and leave me alone again. I wish somebody told me life was unkind before my worst moments opened my eyes. I try to hold on, hold my head high, but every day cuts me like a new knife. I can't be happy living life on my knees, paying every doctor not to fix my disease. I hate to talk about what's bothering me, 'cause no comfort ever comforts me. So
Oh, snap. They got nice voices. Okay, so I think that I think that Ekoh, I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, is a rapper. I didn't know he sings, so that's pretty cool. And he has more of a subtle, like softer, breathy voice, and it complements the rasp of Low Spirit's voice pretty well. I like that. It has a poppy feel so far. I'm hearing a ballad, if you will, right? The piano. But now the drums are coming in harder and it's building that crescendo, in my opinion, which is fitting to the lyrics because we're talking about loneliness. We're talking about depression, I would say, is what I'm hearing so far. A state of struggling, paying the doctors not to fix me, right? Going to, I would say, maybe therapists, counselors, different doctors, paying them, but still not receiving any healing, any remedy. I'm going to start over though, but there's a nice complementation here, I think, between that rasp and the intensity, that buildup that's happening, fitting to how our emotions go.
goodbye, happiness. Yeah. Hello, loneliness. I feel you coming back to take a hold again. My oldest friend, I wish you didn't come around so often to steal my happiness.
Got a good bass to his voice.
And leave me alone again. I wish somebody told me life was unkind before my worst moments opened my eyes. I try to hold on, hold my head high, but every day cuts me like a new knife. I can't be happy living life on my knees, paying every doctor not to fix my disease. I hate to talk about what's bothering me, 'cause no comfort ever comforts me. So goodbye, happiness. Hello, loneliness. I feel you coming back to take a hold again. My oldest friends, I wish you didn't come around so often to steal my everything and leave me alone again. I feel you coming back to take a hold of me, to make me say goodbye, goodbye. Happiness leaving this room, I can feel it, it's getting hard just to be breathing again. Loneliness showing up here to remind me of all of the things I know we could have been. Taking a hold, I wish I wasn't broken with all this abandonment weighing me down. When things are going good, I just wait for you to ruin it all and then come around. So
Okay. Homeboy can rap. Okay. I'm trying to, I'm gonna have to listen again to
just hold me tight. Won't you let me go? I'm sick of always feeling broken hearted and alone. I said I'd be okay, just wait to fall in love. You'll see that everything you're thinking will be different. But the first girl I ever loved in my life, I never told, and then she overdosed and she died. You said that talking about it helps to comfort the mind, but nothing ever comforts mine. So goodbye happiness, hello loneliness. I feel you coming back to take a hold again. My oldest friends, I wish you didn't come around so often to steal my everything and leave me alone again. I feel you coming back to take a hold of me, to make me say goodbye, goodbye. I wish somebody told me life was unkind before the worst moments opened my eyes. I try to hold my head high, but every day sing out goodbye happiness and hello loneliness. I feel you coming back to take a hold again. My oldest friend, I wish you didn't come around so often.
Okay. Low Spirit has a pretty cool vibrato. Most of what I heard in the beginning was that rasp and just hit that great vocal control as he was screaming and hitting those higher notes. But he has a nice vibrato too. And then, okay, so Eko's voice, like I said earlier, there's an element of, in the beginning at least, it had a level of like breathiness in a way, fitting to rap, pop. But then in that second chorus, he was belting. And I like that rasp came in too, because there was this underlying bass notes I felt when he was singing at first, which sounded really fitting to those softer notes in the first verse or the first chorus when he sang it without the drums and without all that crescendo. But then that strength came in. I mean, they can belt, both of these guys, really, really good. It was this song. I'm surprised it only has 500,000 views. I could see a lot of people, especially the people that love Linkin Park and the like, can really appreciate something like this. There's something cool about rap and rock coming together in this shape or form. But the hook, dun dun da 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 la, da 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 da, is really, really catchy. Sometimes all you need is a few notes, a simple chord progression, and you just sing that over and over. It gets stuck in your mind, but it makes for good songwriting. I've said this before, and they've got that right here. Really, really catchy hook. The lyrics are, I think, very relatable, especially if you've ever been either seriously depressed, struggled with depression or anxiety, or just in general, if you've been through hard times. Life can be really hard. And this feeling of saying goodbye to happiness, hello loneliness, is this idea of that emotion being very familiar. It's what you say when you say goodbye to one thing and you welcome back another. You're familiar with it. It's not uncommon. It's almost like, I'm so used to this. Hi, welcome back. Here you are again. And then singing about the part, saying, I wish someone would have told me, how hard life is before those moments opened up my eyes. And it made me think, honestly, even if people told us, I think it still hits different when you actually experience it. Knowledge in theory means very little until you have experienced it yourself. We are human beings created to create. We're always creating in our thoughts, words, actions. And knowing one thing is one side of the coin, is one matter, but experiencing it is where actual change, actual creation happens, right? I can think something all day and one could say, I've created a thought. But when I put it into action and I've experienced it, it takes on a different meaning. It becomes more meaningful. And so my thought was, even if we were told that life is hard, it's hard to be on that journey and to realize, man, life can be pretty rough. Very sad even to hear how he expressed he wished that he would have told this girl he loved her, but then he never had the chance to, and she overdosed and died. So not only talking about your everyday sadness here, but heavy things. And many of us go through that. Many of us at some point in our life reach a place where there's severe pain, there's severe suffering. And it's once again this way of saying goodbye happiness. I thought I could have that, but here comes loneliness again. And to me, from a therapeutic standpoint or from a psychological standpoint, I think there's something to be said about allowing ourselves to process that and learning to accept that both of those things will be part of life. We don't like to be uncomfortable. We don't like dealing with suffering and pain. We don't like talking about death. It's an uncomfortable thing to do, be it when we're dealing with it ourselves or when we are around someone who's lost someone or is in the process of dying. It's heavy, it's hard because there's so many questions and unknown factors surrounding that topic. And there's something to be said about learning to accept that suffering is part of life. Now, here's the thing. There's different ways to interpret this idea of welcoming back, greeting your loneliness. On one hand, it could be looked at from a more cynical standpoint, right? Oh yeah, great. There goes my happiness. Hey, loneliness, almost like I knew you would be back. Like, right? Like a relationship where you're cynical and sarcastic. I knew this was going to happen. Then there is another way to interpret that, which is to embrace that loneliness. And I'm not talking about embracing it in the sense of it becoming your sole identity. That's the other extreme. Welcoming it, not from a sarcastic standpoint, but saying, hello, come back, welcome, right? Accepting one thing and over-identifying with it are two different things, in my opinion. It is one thing to accept that life will be hard, that there is a time for loneliness, that there's a time for suffering. It's another thing to think that that's all that there is to you. And that's tricky, right? People that struggle with depression and anxiety, it's not just something that they can snap out of. And those who may not fully know what that's like have a hard time relating. They may even have a hard time empathizing because it's like, okay, I get it. You were sad, cry a little bit. Now get over it. But someone who is genuinely depressed, genuinely anxious and hurting, they can't just snap out of it. So there's this duality in that they need to be allowed to work through it, but they also need help not getting lost in it, not basing their entire identity on that suffering. So to say hello to loneliness, I think can be a good thing, right? Embracing that that's part of life, greeting it, acknowledging it. But at the same time, I think it's important not to over-identify with it so much that you think just because loneliness came back, happiness has to go. But we do that sometime, right? People, I think it's Brene Brown who refers to it as foreboding joy. We experience joy, but we're almost afraid to fully experience and embrace that excitement and enthusiasm. And our minds, they convince us that we have to tone it down with the happiness because, hey, something bad's going to happen, right? The other shoe's going to drop. You might as well not be too happy because, something bad's about to happen. That's foreboding joy. We are hesitant to fully savor it. And there's something to be said about embracing both. Hello, happiness. Hello, loneliness. But I like this song. I think that I could see this being really relatable to many people and almost like an anthem you want to listen to if you're hurting and struggling. I think it would be important, however, not to stay in that place. If you're going to say hello to loneliness, understand that it can be part of you just as much as happiness can, that it's a both and conversation. Pretty dope song. And lots of skill here when it came to the rap flow. Like I said, those cadences were smooth. I mean, he was on it. And dealing with some very real and relatable things. But they did an awesome job. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. If you're new, welcome to these rides. I'm happy you're here. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Ayo!